I'm on. 902. 902. Look at me. I'm so pretty today. Salvana, you creative visionary. Welcome. Yo, welcome. You are welcomed. In Africa, that's what we say. Ugh. You are welcomed. You are welcomed. You are welcomed. So, igama lam uThembi Buthelezi, Queen Bringer of Good Hope. I have come here on this planet Earth, to awaken hope within my body temple. I hate this. I really do. I do. In my body temple, so that you can awaken hope in your body temple. It's all about you activating hope in your body temple and me activating hope in my body temple. That's what we're doing here. Nobody's going to give you anything. Nobody's going to give you love. You've got to love yourself. Nobody's going to heal you. There is wholeness within you. Healing is your own responsibility. Nobody's going to drag you across the finish line. That's your job. We are here to hold each other at a higher level of consciousness, at a higher standard of consciousness. This is what we've come to do on this planet. Yes. Okay. Let's do this. I need to turn this down. I do. So that it's not too loud. I gotta tell you this. Yesterday, I did some prayer work. And I did my shamanic work. And I went to bed. It wasn't even 30 minutes. And the thunder. The thunder, it was just like, I was like, Amazulu, ayakuluma. The Zulus are speaking. I wanted to play you something. I played the song yesterday that I sang. And I swear to you, something incredible happened. I was just like, the things of the spirit world. I have become very conscious of it. I sat here yesterday and I was like, I am accepting all of my gifts. I am fully out as a shaman. And I'm just like, this is what it is. Yo. And then I played the song and my ancestral song. And then I went out. And then I came back, cooked dinner, and then went and did my prayer work. And then it just started blazing in the sky. I swear to you, it was lightning and rain like nothing. I said, oh my goodness, these things are real. They are real. Human beings, when you start accepting your calling and walking in your purpose and are like, nothing else matters in my world. Nothing else matters. Some really crazy stuff starts happening. Like the heavens agree. Okay. Literally the heavens agree. The lightning show I saw yesterday, it was quite something. And it's not rainy season. The lightning show was something. The dreams I was having, it was like the ancestors were just like, thank you so much. And they were like, you want to see proof that we are grateful? Lightning, thunder. I said no. And it went on for, I don't know, maybe an hour and a half. I said, these things are real. Sure. I will play the song for you tomorrow that I played yesterday and that I sang before I went to bed. And it was quite something. Trust that when you agree with the spirit world and say, I am ready, I refuse to do anything else but walk in my purpose, things you don't understand will start happening. I said, I trust. Doubting Thomas is gone. Hopeful Tembi is here. Hello. There you go. What did I sing? Thank you. I just said thank you to the ancestors at the highest levels of God consciousness. Thank you for my awareness. It's really my awareness. The ancestors give you nothing. Okay, that's not true. The ancestors are waiting for you to awaken to your own power that you've always had. That's presupposing that you are working with the highest levels of ancestors, spirit guides, ascended masters, as we would call them out here on the streets. You are working with the highest levels of spirit guides, ascended masters. Well, an ascended master is the highest level of God consciousness embodied, but you're working with high level guardians and gods. Yeah. There's some people that work with some interesting things, but we're not here to discuss that. That has nothing to do with us. Nothing whatsoever to do with us. So what I was singing was thank you. I was just saying thank you to the spirit guides, to the ancestors for their patience while I was going through my doubting Tembi phase, doubting Thomas phase, And I think it's the process of mirroring. Because in neuropsychology and in neuroscience, there's a process called mirror neurons. So if you're constantly around people who are just negative, you're constantly around people who are doubters, you start to doubt yourself because you're dealing with people with very low self-esteem and they doubt everything. All right, you could tell them, hey, a war is coming. Nah, who died and made you God? Now that these things are here, now that the troubles have begun and the problems have begun, they don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Tell me what to do. Not my fucking problem. Not my problem. Not my problem. Has nothing to do with me. So, yeah. Let me get into a space of peace. Okay. Let us read. We're going to read. The Love Mirror Resistance. Relational Instruction. Day 45. Day 45. Let us read. I want to not take up too much of your time today. I have not turned my ear away from divine instruction. Divine instruction in relationships comes through partners' feedback, mirroring, partner feedback, mirroring, friends' observations, and the patterns that keep repeating in your connections with others. But you turn away from relational guidance because receiving it means seeing parts of yourself you'd rather deny. You resist relationship mirrors because they reflect not who you think you are, but who you actually are in connection. Carmen's relationships consistently end with partners telling her she's emotionally unavailable and afraid of intimacy. 3 different partners have offered the same feedback with love and concern, but Carmen dismisses each one as needy or too demanding. She turns away from a relational instruction that could transform her capacity for love, because accepting it would mean admitting she's been protecting herself from the very intimacy she claims she wants. Turning away from relational instruction keeps you repeating the same relational patterns while wondering why love remains elusive. You resist guidance that could heal your connection patterns because your ego is more invested in being right about relationships than being successful in them. You choose familiar relational dysfunction over unfamiliar relational growth. Embodiment practice. Think of relationship feedback you've received that you immediately dismissed or defended against. Feel where relational instruction creates resistance in your body. Often the heart closes, throat tightens, or stomach churns when love mirrors show us what we don't want to see. Say, I welcome relational truth that helps me love better. My relationships are my greatest teachers. So true. Let's read again. Divine instruction in relationships come through partners' feedback, friends' observation, and the patterns that keep repeating in your connection with them. Okay, let me ask you, maybe you can put down in the comments below, or if you're open for a conversation. The patterns, I want to ask about the patterns that keep repeating in your connections with others. What are the patterns that keep repeating? For me, let me just share, and then maybe you can share. For me, it was constantly dragging latcheroners, leeches, leavers, and liars. Just dragging them across the finish line, solving all of their problems. They would create so many problems. So much dysfunction. And I would always be there to solve their problems. I would always be, where did I learn this pattern from? Childhood. As the firstborn in my family, I watched my dad as the firstborn in his family constantly solve his siblings' problems, his siblings just dysfunctional. Yes. And so I watched my dad and I thought, this is the way to be an older sibling. Okay. It was so dysfunctional. So dysfunctional. And then I became that until one day I said, this is destroying me, slowly but surely, killing me softly, slowly but surely. Yes, it was killing me softly, slowly but surely. The dysfunction these people are capable of, the lies, the murders, the dysfunction is quite something. I said, oh my God, I need to get out of this. But I didn't know the full extent of the dysfunction until now. It's like, wow, I missed the bullet on that one. I missed jail time. I missed death. But what I noticed about that is that I then had friends who were like this. Some of my friends are just rubbish. But one day I stopped and I said, but like, what is it? I am the common denominator in all of these relationships. These people were just sitting there by themselves. And I kind of like went into their world trying to fix them and trying to drag them. Who am I? Why do I think I am God? Trying to fix people, oh my goodness, all of these troubles. One day I just stopped. I said, I don't care. Let it collapse. Let people go to prison. Let people hang themselves if they must. Let people jump out of balconies if they must. I don't care. I don't care what happens. Because this is what these people are capable of doing, right? They will cry wolf. They will cry, I'm going to unalive myself. I'm going to harm myself. And they play games. But then I would always come to the rescue, come to the rescue, come to the rescue. I think it was like 10, 11 years ago where I had a friend like this who called me and was sending me emails, text message. I'm going to harm myself. I said, go ahead, do whatever you got to do. He shot himself in the head. It's like, not my problem. Your mother's been telling you that you got to stop gambling. Your older sister is telling you that you got to stop gambling. Your younger sister, your friends are telling you that you got to stop gambling, and you keep at it. You keep with the lies. You keep with the gambling. Nobody can help you. So now that you are in the problems, you want to call me to come and help you when I already told you that gambling is going to get you into a lot of problems. And this was not a person who was like a dum-dum, okay? This was a guy who was like CMO of companies, huge companies around the world. He was an expat traveling around the world, living in different countries, like crazy money. But because the gambling had taken over, ancestral wounding, because his father was in the mafia, even though he was educated at these summa cum laudes, very good schools, gambling took over. Because if you don't work on your ancestral stuff, oh yes, you must work on your ancestral stuff. Just because you went to a fancy school and now you graduated summa cum laude and you are CMO, you're CEO of some company, you think that your ancestral stuff is not following you. I've been working with white folk on this stuff because black folk don't want to work on these things. They're like, no, I don't want to work on these things. I just want to be rich and buy a Rolex watch and stuff. Honestly, most of the people that I've worked on these troubles are white people. They pay me well and they don't give me problems. Black people are going to tell you that they know better. I don't want to honor my ancestors. I don't want to look at this stuff. Okay, then don't look at it then. Don't look at it. But when your problems start, don't go around asking for help everywhere. Honestly, for me, it's been the Asian people and the white people that are diligent at working on looking at their ancestral stuff. I don't know why this is, but most of the people that I've really worked with and have given me a lot of money, Indians, Asians, which are Indians and white people. The black folks don't want to look at these things. They don't. They're just like, I want to make money. I want to make money. I want to make money. I say, okay, go ahead and make money. You're going to make so many bad choices. You're going to make so many mistakes. I'm telling you, you're going to want to hang yourself when you've already made the bad choices, because it's the ancestral stuff that is following you. Those ancestors that were hung on a tree, those ones that were slit throat hung, okay? Those ones that died in pain in Africa. Those ones that died drunk, those ones that were murdered. You think those people are still not alive in your DNA, in your electromagnetic field? No. I am Christian. I don't want to look at that stuff. Then the bad choices. I've worked with more white people on ancestral stuff than black people. Black people just want to use ancestral energy and give me, you're a shaman, give me this. I just want to be fast. I just want to be rich. I say, oh, you don't understand how these things work. You don't really understand how these things work. So anyway, I digress. So I was looking at myself in these things and I was just like, why do I always find myself in these relationships with these people? What is wrong with me? Then I had to go back. My dad was the firstborn. My grandfather was the firstborn. My great-grandfather was the firstborn. All the same thing. My grandfather's sister tried to poison him. I said, oh, I'm in the same situation. My dad's sister, a nightmare, almost destroyed my father financially. A nightmare. And here I am too. Same situation. But then I was finding myself with friends like this. So now I started asking people, if you're my friend or something, start asking people, are you a firstborn? Secondborn? Well, where are you here in the birth line? The lastborns? A nightmare. I'm married to a lastborn. Child. because they had siblings that took care of them, and so they have an attitude problem. Everybody's abusing them. Everybody's hurting their feelings. Yes. The firstborn friends that I have, we have a great time together. Yes, we clash because it's kind of an energy of firstborn, and we all want to tell each other what to do, and somebody needs, usually it's a compromise, give and take. The middle children friends I have, I'm just like, okay. Except if they're healthy. If they're healthy, it's a great relationship. If they're unhealthy and they haven't done inner work, it's a nightmare. So I had to start looking at myself. I said, oh, okay, firstborn syndrome, this and this and this. And this is how I behave in relationships. I do it. Okay? And I go and find these randoms, and I'm now trying to firstborn them. Okay, maybe I can stop doing this because honestly, I'm not God in their life. Okay? And then I started asking the right questions. Oh, please tell me, are you firstborn, secondborn? Oh, secondborn. Well, I give them 1 chance, 2 chance. I'm looking at them. I'm studying them. As soon as I see red flags, out the door. I don't call. Hey, let's go out. Sorry, busy. Not interested. Because I already know myself, how I am going to behave based on my own programming and based on my ancestral programming. Okay? So I know what my weaknesses are. I'm going to try and save this person. This person's going to come and tell me their bullshit problems. And I'm going to, no, not my business, not my problem. So how about you? Let's ask this question. Divine instruction in relationships comes through partners' feedback, friends' observations, and the patterns that keep repeating in your connection with others. I take feedback from my friends. I've had a lot of great friends that have just given me feedback, and I look at myself and say, oh, okay, maybe. But I also take a lot of feedback from books because I really love books. I really love reading. And I always also loved going to therapy because I like to talk about myself because I'm a healthy narcissist. Okay, and patterns that keep repeating your connections with others. If you're constantly in relationships and you having fights and it ends there, and then you've got to look at yourself. I've just taken off, 14 months now to just be by myself and just look at myself, just study myself, and just get back to who am I? What's going on here? What's going on? But most people are afraid of being by themselves and just questioning themselves. I have had 0 friends. Well, I have friends, but I just didn't want to engage, not even have one conversation with them. They keep sending me Instagram. I'm sorry if you've been you're my friend. You know I love you long time, but I've seen the Instagram messages and all of that. I'm sorry that I haven't responded. If you're watching my lives, I will respond. But 0, because I wanted to figure myself out. 0 friends, 0 interaction with people. Just hello, how are you doing? Fine. Have a 5-10 minute conversation if I'm at a restaurant or at the grocery store. 10 minutes max, out the door. Because I'm like, no, I need to get back to myself. I need to feel myself. I need to understand myself. I need to learn how to have boundaries again and just be still within myself. A majority of humans are afraid of self. They're afraid of solitude. How can you get to know yourself if you are afraid of solitude? Okay, but you have a husband. Yeah, I do have a husband, but okay, whatever. My husband is not afraid of solitude. He does his own thing. He loves his own time. It is a must for me. It is a must. I cannot be around people too much. They drain my energy. Especially latcheroners, leeches, leavers, and liars. These dysfunctional, chaotic people, they drain me because they're so chaotic and they make such bad choices. And I'm just like, no, I don't care. I need to feel my peace. I need to remember what peace tastes like, smells like, feels like, sounds like. And when you are then centered in your own knowing, know thyself, human being. When you're centered in your own knowing, then it's easier to go back out into the world because now you're not watching for red flags. You remember what peace feels like. You remember what joy feels like. You remember what self-worth feels like. And anything else that shows up where you can feeling it, you just say, this is not for me. And you cut it off very fast. You don't allow it to go on for 10 years. You just cut it off and you're done. No explanation, no nothing. Sorry, I'm busy. Life is busy. Sorry, don't have time. Continue with your life. Yes, a lot of us are afraid of being alone, especially in the collective culture. If you've got black hair and you are in the collective culture, Asians and Hispanics and Africans, whether you're African American or African, just African, you are afraid of being alone. You are afraid of walking alone because we've grown up in community. So that's why when we fall, we all fall together. I refuse this. When you rise, they try to pull you down. They steal everything from you. They lie. They do all sorts of these strange things because this is the community. But if it's a toxic community, it gets bad real fast. And this is why people are unaliving themselves. But if you look at the Asians are moving real fast. They are moving. They are building. You look at the Chinese. They're all up in Africa. Look at the Africans, broke, crying, was. And then these same people want you to come back and do what? So that you can kill me? For what? No, thank you. No, thank you. But even the African Americans, they fight amongst each other too. But they are a little bit better because they know that they are not at home. They are not in their country. Africa is your country where your real ancestors are. The Asians are busy. You know what? I learned a lot from the Asians. The Asians are moving as one. I lived in China. I studied these Chinese. I said, these Chinese are power. These Chinese are real power. These Chinese will let you in to a certain extent. They will never give you full access. They are powerful. Chinese people are powerful. Japanese people, okay. Koreans, okay. Chinese people, they have a power, a spiritual power you will never understand. But until you live there and you feel that energy and you see them move as one, you will never see Africans live like this. They are scratching each other, stealing from each other, lie. Oh my goodness, no thank you. I'm so tired of this. Okay, so it starts here with how we relate in community, and then it moves into our personal relationships. It moves into our work relationships. It's a nightmare. Okay. Carmen's relationships consistently end with partners telling her she's emotionally unavailable and afraid of intimacy. 3 different partners have offered the same feedback with love and concern, but Carmen dismisses each one as needy or too demanding. She turns away from relational instruction that could transform her capacity for love, because accepting it would mean admitting she's been protecting herself from the very intimacy she claims she wants. Who died and made you God? Who died and made you God? Who's dying now? What about all of these people with no medication, HIV medication, TB medication, malaria medication? What about this? Who died and made you God? No man's gonna tell me how to do. Maybe the man sees something in you that could change or you could grow from. And in that growth, your relationship becomes better. Maybe the woman sees something in you that you could work on that would make the relationship better and you could grow as partners. But that would presuppose that you're actually, as a woman, working on yourself, or as a man, you are working on yourself towards growth. And even as a woman, you're working on yourself towards growth. That would presuppose that. But if you're not, you have no right to tell someone else what to do and how to change, because you're not growing. You know what I mean? That's why it's like, for me, I find it very hard to listen to people who are dysfunctional. It's like, what you've got to tell me? What do you've got to tell me? You're dysfunctional. I am dysfunctional in my own ways, but I seek to figure out what's going on here and try to help myself. But people who are not even helping themselves, they're just dysfunctional, making really bad choices, destroying people's lives with their bad choices. You've got nothing to tell me. I will not listen. I will watch as it collapses, and I'll be like, wow, what a story. What a very sad story. And if you're African American and if you're African, Black people, sometimes we cannot keep blaming these white people. We destroy ourselves. We destroy ourselves. And then we look at the white people and they are laughing at us because we destroy ourselves. The Asian people look at us and they're like, look at these people. They are ranting on social media, lying up a storm, thieving. Yes. Scams. So you scam the Americans, and then the Americans cut off the US aid, and now you're in problems. Your own people are dying. The very people that you need to lift the economy, these people are dying because now they're sick. So now they are a burden on your healthcare infrastructure. Now you're going to blame them, but the Americans took from us. But aren't you supposed to be better? Aren't you supposed to be better? Aren't you supposed to be living in more integrity? And actually, no, the Americans don't come and take from you. Your leaders allow them to come into your country and take ore and mine ore and mine gold and mine all sorts of these minerals. So it's not really the Americans, because they couldn't just come into any African country and take. You allow them into your countries to come and take. And then you want to retaliate by scams? Okay, so they retaliate by cutting US aid. So it's like a ping pong, ping pong, ping pong, ping pong, ping pong. So the dysfunction that we have in our communities, Asians are the same, okay? White people are the same. Hispanics are the same, because it's a human thing. Okay, Black people are the same. So the dysfunction we have in our individual communities affects our relationships in business. So now we're doing business globally and we are banging each other up. Bang, you stole from me. I'm going to now scam you. Cryptocurrency scam you. Okay, now you've done that. Now they cut off US aid. So now the very people that you need as Africans to build your economies are the very people that are dying. The children that you need to sustain your economies are the very ones that are dying. The mothers, the fathers are a drain on the healthcare system. Just saying. Okay. Turning away from relational instruction keeps you repeating the same relationship patterns while wondering why love remains elusive. It's because we don't love ourselves. We think we love ourselves. We don't love ourselves. If you are dysfunctional in your own community, you're dysfunctional in your own homes, you're dysfunctional in the way you relate with yourself, you will go out into the world and do business and you will be dysfunctional. And one day you are going to meet a person who's more dysfunctional than you. Because there's a lot of dysfunction out here. You will meet a person who is more dysfunctional than you. And they will wipe you out. They will wipe you out. They will mop the floor with your self-esteem. Okay? I'm just saying. You resist guidance that could heal your connection patterns because your ego is more invested in being right about relationships than being successful in them. Being successful in relationship with someone else means that you gotta learn, how do I function? What is good for me and what is not good for me? And in that self-knowing, how do I relate with others? If somebody steals a bit, lies a bit, crookery a bit, it's not for me. Because I don't want to engage in that. Because it never ends well. Because wherever there is disharmony, wherever there is imbalance, the laws of Ma'at are such. Life will always balance itself out. So, okay, the Americans came to Africa and stole a bit and whatever you think they've done. And yes, they might have done these things. They have done these things. Okay, so you retaliate. And they retaliate. When does it end? In the process, innocent people are dying. Innocent people have no medication. Because people decide, no, we're going to be angry at these Americans and we're going to get them. But the laws of life are such. The laws of life do not care whether you're American, you're African, you are Chinese, you are Japanese. The laws of life are such. Wherever there is an imbalance, life, the universe, will balance it out. It will balance it out. But you're playing with your own life. You're playing with your own life. Americans can always get money because they will come when the Africans have died from HIV, TB, and malaria because no medication. So they will come after that and they will keep taking your ore, they will keep taking your minerals and keep building. You're dead. No, these people, they're killing us. Okay. I am not for the Americans. I am not for the Asians. I am not for the Africans. I am not for the Europeans. I am not for the Hispanics. I am for God. I am for truth. I am for truth. When are we going to grow up from this infantile embassy? Yeah, infantile stupidity. When do we grow up from this? Okay. You resist guidance that could heal your connection patterns because your ego is more invested in being right about relationships than being successful in them. You choose familiar relational dysfunction over unfamiliar relational growth. I have seen this in myself. Living in other countries, being married to a Caucasian man, I had to learn a lot about how dysfunctional some of my relational patterns were. It took some time in therapy to even understand this so that I could allow someone to love me and for me to receive love without performing, without going mad, running in, out, just being still and saying, okay, this might not be perfect, Mr. So-and-so, Prince Charming this, but honestly, I've never received a love like this. I've never received someone who's there for me all the time, no matter what. I don't know this. Let me explore why this love kind of feels so unfamiliar. Because I never had any kind of love that was stable. Coming out of apartheid, it's like everybody's in survival mode. Stability, not a thing. I'm not perfect at relationship. Honestly, I am not perfect at relationship. I would rather just cut things out. And well, now I have no tolerance for it. Before, I would just try and work it out, pray for them. Here's the book that I read. Let's go to this course. Let's go to this seminar. And now I don't care. I'm like, it's not my problem. Especially if you're an adult, you're over 20. It's not my problem. And you, visionary, need to have the same level of self-respect where you are willing to say, you know what, everybody is capable of going to the library, buying an audiobook, getting on Kindle, buying a book, and reading for themselves. If they do not want this level of growth, it is nothing to do with me. Cut them out. Whatever must happen, must happen. You are not God, number one. And number two, you are nobody's mother. Because sometimes even the mothers have failed to communicate common sense. The mothers are crying. The fathers are dead in their graves, just spinning round and round and round and round as ancestors going, what did I do to get this so wrong with this child? So as a guy, you might see a pretty one and you don't even know how much her mother is crying. Her mother is praying. Her grandparents are praying. They're like, what did we do to bring such a curse into our family. And you as a man, you're going to take this thing that looks pretty, big teeth, no brains, a big ass tight waist or whatever these things that you guys love. And she is a nightmare. She is a demon. Woman, too. You could look at some good-looking man. He might not have abs and guns and also that, but you are looking at him because he's got a good job. He's a businessman and all sorts of these things. This man might be sick. He might be real sick. He might be sleeping with all sorts of people and bringing you HIV, gonorrhea, syphilis, all sorts of these diseases. This is how we say in Africa. Gonorrhea, syphilis, HIV. This is how we say in South Africa. And now you're crying. You're running now to a pastor now, a fake mystic, a fake prophet. Hey, I need healing waters. I need healing. And now you're buying handkerchiefs. You're buying water, blessed water, all sorts of this rubbish. That's not going to help you. You need medication, HIV medication. That's what you need. You need TB medication. You need malaria medication. Sometimes you can't love trash. Some people are, I said, we're not going to call people trash, but some people are just demonic. There's nothing you can do for them. Even their own mothers are crying. Even their grandparents are rolling in their graves. There's nothing you can do for them. You let them hang. Whatever must happen, let them. Prison, let them. Hang, let them. Crash out, let them. It's not your problem. But you're so insensitive. You have no compassion for people who are struggling. Oh, I did. 20 years. It brought me nowhere. It brought me nowhere. Because people like this, you let them in, they come with a whole host of cockroaches that are like them. A whole host of rats that are like them. And they will run you over. But we are afraid of being alone. Because somebody sold us this idea that being alone means you're a loser. You're a loser. No, I would rather have peace than have unnecessary chaos and a host of bad choices. And once these choices become consequences, these people who are chaotic up here do not know how to fix these problems. So now it's another generation of dysfunction. It's another generation of children growing up without parents because no HIV medication. USAID is finished. So another generation of children running around in the streets, running around. Mothers are dead. Fathers are dead. These children get trafficked. The economies continue to collapse. Okay. Embodiment practice. Think of relationship feedback you've received that you immediately dismissed or defended against. Feel where relational instruction creates resistance in your body, often in the heart. Often the heart closes. And when the heart closes, this is what happens. Because you're protecting yourself. Okay? Throat tightens and you stop breathing, or stomach churns. When love mirrors show us what we do not want to see. There's nothing wrong when somebody loves you enough to say this is going to destroy you. There's nothing wrong with taking that advice and saying, let me think about it. Okay, I'll think about it. It might not be for me. I might be okay with being a nasty soul. But if you're okay with being a nasty, chaotic soul, get out of people's lives. Get out of people's lives. Go be chaotic somewhere else. Find your chaos group and create chaos and live with the consequences of the chaos you have created. Do not try to come back to peace. Do not. And when people kill you out here, and when the ancestors of the people whose lives you have affected with your chaos haunt you, sit with it and say, yes, I have created this. This is my doing. I am very proud of myself. And I'm willing to sit with the chaos that has been created from the decisions I've made. Yes, own it. And sit in it and own it. Instead of lying. Instead of going around telling stories that make no sense. Instead of trying to drag people who were not involved in your chaos into your chaos. Own it with your chaotic rat friends. Stop dragging people who have no business being in your drama. Just own it and say, yes, I'm real chaos. It's amazing. When I look at the Asians are just them working, moving, them working. They have their own chaos. They have their own chaos. But, having lived in Asia for over now, 2011, 14 years, I'm like the Asians are just working. They're just working. And we look at the Asians and we're like, wow, just 20, 30 years ago, they had nothing. Okay, not like they didn't have anything, but their countries were not this developed. But because they just put their head down and just work, their countries are developing. They're becoming world leaders. As an African, I'm just like, it's the same story with Africans. These people, they're coming to take from us. Same sad story. And then chaos. And then babies you cannot afford to take care of. And then HIV, malaria, diseases. It's I don't know what to say to you. I don't know. I want to learn from people who are growing. I want to be around that energy of growth. Even if, they're going to burn out and, I don't know, whatever. I prefer this than drama, movies, soap operas, loud music, dancing and drinking all day long. What are you getting out of this? I love dancing. I love my music. But there is a time and place for everything. Sitting in churches 8 hours a day, you are achieving nothing with this dumb religion that takes you nowhere. And you keep looking at countries that are progressing. You want to partner with these countries that are progressing, yet you are dysfunctional in relationship. And when they study you and realize you're dysfunctional in relationship and then maneuver around, now they are taking advantage of us. They manipulated us. Now they're taking our ports. Now, okay, maybe you should have not been dysfunctional in relationships so that you could understand, because you know yourself, how other people function. I don't understand, like, when do we grow out of this infancy? If countries are consistently coming to your continent and they keep taking from you, it means you're the common denominator. And you're going to retaliate by scams, then they just cut off the aid you need to allow your own people to live so that they can pay taxes and contribute to the economy. When these people are dying, they are a burden to your healthcare system that is already weak. Okay, here we go. Feel where relational instruction creates resistance in your body, often in the heart. You are now probably angry at me if you're an African. Very angry. She's so rude, this girl. She's so rude. No, but I'm telling the truth. Okay? Throat tightens and your stomach starts churning. When love mirrors show us what we don't want to see. Okay? So instead of getting real angry at me and cursing me and killing children at graveyards so that you can have spiritual power to take me out and do your stupid witchcraft, rather say, I welcome relational truth that helps me love better. My relationships are my greatest teachers. Yeah, I don't know what to say about this one. I don't know. I'm not saying Americans are better. Honestly, I'm not. They got a lot of mental health issues. I'm not saying Asians are better. Chinese, Japanese, Filipinos, Thai, Vietnamese. I'm not saying Australians are better. I'm just saying let's look at ourselves. Because I am an African, I chose in this lifetime to be born in Africa, South African American. I'm just like, yo man, I need to look at myself. How do I relate? Who am I? What do I like? What do I don't like? What will I not put up with? I don't care what the price is, what the cost. And in knowing thyself, how do I relate with others as I travel around the world? You are learning the hard way. Americans, African Americans, you are learning the hard way. This is an opportunity for us as an African people to recognize that this is like the turning point for us. Our mothers and fathers couldn't get it right. They were too traumatized from wars, slavery, harm that was really done. It is truth. It was done. But we are the ones that our ancestors have been praying for to wake up from this victim consciousness. To not keep repeating the same old. Now we're going to get them. They're going to get you. Now children are dying. No medication. They are dying. These are the children we need to build us as a people. These are the very children that are dying. The mothers and the fathers, okay, they are dying. But who's going to raise these children when the mothers and the fathers are dead because there's no money for medication? Who is going to raise these children? So we have another generation of people in Africa, even in America. And now we've got the Asians involved in these things too. At least the Asians, you know what, they kind of help their children. Like in India, they gather these children up and put them in a boarding school and teach them meditation. You should see the amount of children running around in Africa. These are the ones that they use for rituals there at graveyards after they've had their sex magic. They just take these children and just kill them at these graveyards because their parents are dead. Now the fact that there's no money for HIV medication, TB, malaria medication, there's going to be a lot of these children running around that they are going to now harvest and sacrifice. And we wonder why we are what we are. Why our countries are what we are. No. Now we're just waiting for AI. AI is going to save us. Okay? Okay. I don't know what to tell you. But these truths needed to be spoken. But don't you believe in quantum physics? There is infinite potentiality. Okay? But at the level of consciousness that you are at, your choice in a spectrum of infinite potentiality, your choice would be to choose war, choose chaos, choose stupidity, because of the level of consciousness that you are. But you're hurting my feelings. Why don't you stand up for the black people? I am standing up for you. I love you enough to just speak my truths as I see them. Enough with being victimized by any other race. You are more than this. Enough with this rubbish.